Hello and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing something similar to what we did last week. With the still life, I'm going to be doing watercolor painting. Now, there's a catch. This isn't normal watercolors or anything. You use water and then the paint. No. We're going to be mixing water with food coloring. So I had this idea for about 2 days and I'm curious how it's going to turn out because I've seen people that would use like coffee or tea to do watercolor paintings, and I've even tried one. It's cool. But I'm curious how food coloring's going to match up with watercoloring. So you can see here I have quite the assortment. So, while I was thinking about the food coloring, I had a feeling it isn't going to be the exact same as it with watercoloring. You know how you add more water and then it kind of washes out the color, making it lighter and whatnot, and then you add more paint and it makes it darker. That kind of thing. I have a feeling that no matter how much water you put into it, it's still going to come out the same. It isn't going to change. So which is why I have one that's completely just like clean water, so that I can try and do gradients and make some areas lighter and darker. So I have this one that's just the green, and then I have this one that has a lot more dye than water, so that I can get darker colors if I need to. Okay, so, and then I have my paper. It has this thing so the water doesn't contaminate my other pages. So yeah, we just have like a normal water brush here, slightly smaller one. Then I have a sponge here, just in case if there's too much water on my page, I can soak it up so it doesn't like wrinkle and sog. Paper towel to dry my brush at any time. I'm only going to be using one color, which is green, because I'm not a professional at watercoloring, and watercoloring is probably one of the harder styles of painting, so I'm just going to stick with one color instead of worrying about multiple colors. Yes. Okay, now you're probably wondering what I'm going to be painting. Well, I'll tell you. It's this thing right up on screen. So, hey, shush. So, about a week ago, I was at my grandma's house, and I went around her yard and started taking some pictures of some scenery I thought might be cool to do some painting. And I thought this tree with the bushes around it would be the best type. You know, kind of simple. Well, I could make it simple. And, you know, not that much detail. So, yeah. The first step I'm going to take with this is, the grass. So, there was a while back whenever we did watercoloring at my school, and we started with the sky, and we kind of made it a gradient, so it would be dark up top and then it'd get lighter. I want to do the same but the opposite way with the green. So I'm going to make it darker here, and then as it comes up to about the middle, it will fade out. So that I can paint the object here and there will be some kind of ground, or, you know, it won't just be floating in midair. So yeah, now that you know what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be speeding this process up. Without further ado, let's go! Okay, so the liquidized dye didn't really work. It was way too light, and I tried a couple layers, but it didn't seem to work. So I decided to switch to kind of this gel dye. So you can see it's a little bit thicker. So it's gonna maybe act a little bit more like watercolors than, you know, just having a few drops in the water and doing it. So I let the page dry. You can see there's a small tint of green at the bottom, or whatever. So I have water here, and then I have the dye there. So I'm just going to do the same thing I told you, is try and make a gradient. It's the first step. So let's try this and see how it works. Let's go. Okay, so I tested the gel one, and it actually works a lot better. But there are still some flaws with it. So, for starters, it does very well mimic the watercolors. You know, you get your brush wet, and then you just get a little bit of the green dye on your brush, and then there you go. That's kind of like the same for watercolors. But the thing is that it dries a lot faster than watercolors, and wherever you put the dye on, it stays there. It doesn't really spread out or move around like watercolors. So, you know, a lot less room for error with, you know, dye. But I have kind of a layering going. It's slightly darker here, a little bit lighter, and then a little lighter up here. So now I'm going to start with my next step, which is make the bush that goes around the tree. So I'm going to start with kind of a light shade of green, and just kind of blotch it, kind of in a almost a circle, but I'm not going to go it all the way because there's still a tree in there. And then whenever that dries, I'm going to go back in, and kind of where it curves inside of it, I'm going to make it a little bit darker to add like shadow. You just make it look a little bit more like 3D. And then when that's dry, there's a lot of layers. I'm going to go back in, and with a small brush, I'm going to add like the individual like little leaves that come out to add more detail to it. That's what I'm going to do. So now that you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed this process up so you can see it in action. Without further ado, let's go! Okay, so now that I'm done with the bush, it actually is coming out really good. I'm going to do one of the hardest things, to draw a tree, or more to paint one. Anyways, so I think I'm just going to start with like something kind of light, and then do just a rough branches kind of wherever. And then I'm going to go back whenever that's mostly dry. I'm going to make it a little bit darker in the center to make it look like the light is coming in from behind it, so it kind of makes the sides glow. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to do details in with the bark. I might. I just have to look at the picture again. And then since it has leaves, I'll do kind of a little bit of blotchy spots here and there, more out further in the branches. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then that'll probably be the end of it, since there's not much that is really going on in the picture. So, now that you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed this process up so you can see it in action. Let's let's go. Ta-da! So this is my final result of watercolor painting with food coloring. And I gotta say, if you ever want to try this, you have to do it with the gel type stuff. You can't really do it with the liquid where you just put a few drops in the water. That doesn't work correct. There's not enough. So yeah, there's my tree. It's pretty good. I really like how the bush came out. I thought that one is the best out of the entire drawing, or painting. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and have a nice day. Bye!